Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to catch up on the last few months that I've been away from my channel and overall the Pokemon market collecting in general, right? So I took a break. We were at the peak and I was like, you know what? I just got to step back. I got to wait this thing out, right? I'm not going to FOMO. I'm not going to force myself to collect just because I am a Pokemon collector, right? I'm going to wait out for the prices to drop back down. My last video that I made was like, this is the end of Pokemon investing because I felt like that was the top. And when the tops happen, I always predict a 30% drop because that's also a rule that I follow when it comes to Pokemon cards when they first come out. When a card first comes out, it's very highly valued, right? Like top price. We'll take a look at this Clefairy. So a card comes out and usually will keep dropping 50%. 30% mark is usually where a card will hold up well if it's really sought after. But 50% is usually where it's going to go to, and then it's going to flatline around there. Like I expect this Clefairy to be around 150, right? So let me see if there's another example. Where is Salamence? So Salamence is down 61%. So these new sets, or at least Battle Partners, which is the newest set until Destined Rival gets here, or Journey Together in English, it acts like a normal set, right? When a set comes out, it will drop 30, 40, 50%, and it's going to be a baseline. This is what we saw with Scarlet 151. Everything prior to Surgeon Sparks. So anything that happened in the last 6 months from Surgeon Sparks, I wanted to see that disappear, and we have. Pikachu has finally fallen down over 41%, over $200 loss from everyone that was buying into the hype that this Pikachu is only going to keep going. But no, what is supposed to happen is a card's supposed to come up hype, right? This is normal behavior. Card comes out high, but it should just start declining immediately. But it held up for months, so it came out in November. Didn't really hit below 400 until March. That's a significant amount of time of holding up. Even like the newest set, Battle Partner, Journeys Together, those cards started falling immediately within the first 2 weeks. Once supply gets listed, right? All that supply is getting put out there on the market for people to buy. Price is a race to the bottom. But because there was so much hype, so many new people, so many hype beast people, right? Buying, pre-ordering. That's a hype beast mentality. Pre-order everything. Everything is all about first getting bots and using bots to get the stuff. All right, selling out, resell it. Right, the scalpers, all those. That was the problem in the hobby around the last 6 months, right? And it's like a 360, like a complete 180 now since the break I've taken. Like I've seen singles all drop over 30%. So my 30% rule that I have like as a baseline of when to start buying cards when they drop 30% has just been on the tee, right? So this Pikachu is down 41%, which is actually very significant because at 287, the comparison I've always made, and a lot of people didn't want to believe it, is that this Pikachu is following the same path as the Chunky Chew. And in May, this card was $305. I mean, mind you, this card was $400+ as well. And so by June, 260, and this Pikachu is already right at around that mark. I expect this to be even lower. Well, recent sales are at 263. So if it follows the same path as Chunky Chew, by July, $245, $200 by the end of the month. By 1 year mark, will it be below 200? What's your bet? My bet is I believe it will be. Right, there should be more significant reprints coming after the hype era of Destined Rival comes out. Right, by the holiday season, that's the best time to buy some of these cards because that's when the most of the supply is gonna be put out there. The hype should be gone by then. I believe the hype after Destined Rival is done. That's the last significant chase card, I believe. Right. Mewtwo, Team Rocket cards. A lot of people know that. The casuals know that. Latios, another same set, right? Latias is from the same set as Surgeon Spark. Reprints have really impacted. Like the patience paid off. If you were patient enough to wait for reprints, if you didn't FOMO and were paying overly priced for these new singles, 250, pushing 250, and it's below its pre-release lows of 185, 185, 176. So there you go. It's lower than it's ever been. The newest chase cards, not the newest chase card, but the hype chase cards. And then Magikarp. This card has pretty much done a complete 360. It's back to where it was, right? 3 months of rising during the hype to pushing almost 300, about 275, back down to 191. It was 190. Like in that same span of 6 months, if you just waited, you would have lost no money. All right. Some cards you will. Some cards you will. We'll say with the Mew. If you waited 6 months for the Mew, 265, 270, we'll say. I mean, you only paid $30 more at 300. Like this card is, sometimes there are anomalies, right? Some card, well then, it's not really an anomaly, but cards will go up and they don't always come back down to the previous lows. Okay, but I mean, we had over a year to buy Mew, or 10 months to buy Mew for $85, $90. If you really wanted this card, you should have bought it then. If you're buying this point, you're just investing it. You're just looking to flip it, right? You want to sell into the hype if you had this. Like, my eBay sales have definitely significantly dropped compared to right when Prismatic first came out, right? That January month, I was selling cards like hotcakes. I listed, and like the next day, I gotta like pack these stuff up right away. Now it's definitely slowed down. I feel like now it's just collectors buying like the Flapples and Fionis, the ones that I have posted, right? It's not most popular Pokemon. It's just collectors. We just need these cards for master sets, perhaps, or something like. Even the Groudon, right? Groudon's always held around the $65, $70 mark. Some lows around $50, but $60 to $70. It had those two peaks, and it's pretty much back at where it is. So this last 6 months has like no significant impact. If you're patient, if you accept that this card should not be more than $70, right? If it goes any higher, I'm just out of it, right? It's almost like a 2x, no, 1.5x. But Eevee being very popular was a $50, $60 card. It's $60 again. Being patient paid off. This is over a 45% drop from the highs of 104, right? It's 105 to $60. That's $45 drop. That's a very significant drop. And then even the Ghastly, another card that is just built on hype because people know Ghastly or they know Gengar, right? They got a few Gengars in here and they think it's a Gengar card. $60 card roughly, down to $35. That's 40% drop. Persian, Team Rocket set, coming up. Let's hype it up. Straight line, straight up. From a $30 card to $75 card. So over 2.5x. Down over 40%, 50%, close to it, right? The hype for this card is great. Pull rates are tough, or grading process is tough. But everyone's just buying singles to grade it and stuff. And investors think that it's gonna be a grade because it's hard to grade. But collectors do actually, there's never been a Drowsy collector like in my life. And it really bothered me that this card was like a top 15 most valuable card at one point in SV era, right? Now it's on like page 4 or whatever it is. This was on first page 1, when it was selling for over $60, $80. It's still valuable compared to where it was pre-hype, but it's definitely down over 50%, right? $63 down to $30, yeah, down over 50%. So the cards that were just built on hype, people investing in it because it's a hard to grade, right? These singles, once you got graded, the bad ones get tossed back into the queue. Yeah, they don't actually hold value because I never met a Slowpoke collector. I'm sure there are collectors out there, but in my eyes, these Pokemons don't have the fundamentals of being a popular Pokemon, being like starters, the legendaries, sought after chase cards. They're just a little too quirky of artwork for me, right? If you look at the best chase cards, they're usually pretty badass looking cards. Like this is even though it's not bad, it's very cute. It's actually very clean artwork. Very nice. Like this is one of those weird ones where it's very abstract, wild out there, and it does well. But that's because the artist is the same artist as Giratina, and so there's some base of where the foundation of why it's hyped up, right? This is just a badass illustration. That's why it's one of the most valuable one. This is an Eevee. You know, like Drowsy is nowhere near the same value as Eevee, but it was at one point over $60, and this Eevee is now $60. So just it's good to see the hobby is kind of like normalizing, and it's good that I stepped away. Like I didn't like where it was headed. I was like, dude, everyone's just gonna get priced out who actually wants to collect a hobby and not just wants to be a reseller. You know, like I don't really sell my cards that I want to keep. Like I want to keep some cards and just I'll sell the ones I pull and I don't want them, right? Like if I don't want like the belly boat, I own it, I'm just gonna sell it. Like I would love to sell it right as soon as I can, right at peak market, right? But if it's a card that I want to personally add to my collection, I don't want to pay $70 for it. I want to buy it for $30 when it first came out, right? But if it becomes $70 like overnight, I have no chance of buying that. So I went to Japanese market, I went to Chinese market, but it's good to see the hobby is healing. Like Journeys Together is really acting like a normal set, and I know a lot of people are panicking over that. Like it's not a good set anymore. Pokemon hobby is dead. Actually, that's a normal thing for the hobby. Like cards come out and they just collapse in price 30-50%. They build a baseline, and that's when you buy the card. It's never been card comes out and it only shoots up in price, and 3 months later it has a 4x of price in the next 2 months. Like that was very hype beast. Pre-order new bots. This is the best. This is the hottest new thing right now. Everyone has to get on it. It's the hottest trend right now. Like I did not like that era that we were in like 3 months ago. So I'm happy to see even the Pikachu has fallen, like the poster child of the surging sparks or surge of hype beast or hype era. So I think the hobby's in a good direction. I'm glad I took a break, and we got Destined Rivals coming out, and so we'll see how that performs. We'll take a look at the market again. I'm kind of glad to be back. I had a nice break from collecting, and now I can get back to collecting. I hope you guys are still around to watch my videos. So if you are, thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.